Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaः Bhadram Pasyema Akshabhiryajatraः Sthirairangaiः Tushtuvagum Sastanubhih Vyasema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhasravaः Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaः Swasti nastarcchyo Arishtanemih Swasti no Bruhaspatirdadatu Om Shanti 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 Om Agne Naya Supatharaye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yudhyasmadjuhuranameno Bhuyishtham Te Namavuktim Vidhema Om Shanti 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 Om Abrahman Brahmano Brahmavachasi Jayatam Arashtre Rajanyah Shuraishavyo Ativyadhi Maharadho Jayatam Dogdhri Dhenu Udhanadvan Asusapti Purandhiryosha Jishnuradheshta Sabheyo Yuvasya Yajamanasya Viro Jayatam Nikame Nikamena Parjanyo Varshatu Phalavatyo Na Oshadhayaha Pachyantam Yogakshemo Naha Kalpetam Om Shanti 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 Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vakpranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Aham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarotu Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu tatatmani rateya Upanishatsu dharmaha Te mayi santu Shanti 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 Harihi Om. So today we have got to get rid of our own follies and sins and mistakes and aparadhas, etc. And for that, the large number of mantras are there in our entire Vedas. So the Vedic corpus, Gnana Rasi, that we have got, helps us to know ourselves, to educate ourselves, to monitor ourselves, and to make ourselves reach the stipulated goals in life. Because life is very precious. Time is precious. So you observe on roadways, National Highway, they write both things. Time is precious. Life is more precious. So people are always fond of speeding up their vehicles. No, you must care your life and then manage the speed. Like that, here also, we have so many things in the world which will tempt you to commit mistake, to do mistakes or to get attracted and fall into the ditch, mohagarta. At the same time, you have also the endowment in our body, the indriyas, antakaranas, which will apply brakes and see that you are on the regular road, regular prosperity. Therefore, it's really interesting. And moreover, it is not always the necessary that Paramatma should appear with Sankha Chakra Gada, Hastaha, and Narayana, or Shiva with all the endowments upon him. Nothing like that. The divinity is being there in any and everything, and it all depends upon your attitude and your mindfulness to see the divinity and get rid of it. So today we have got in WhatsApp a beautiful Subhashitam that God has given us one tongue, two eyes, meaning that the whatever the eyes is, that will be written, that will be spoken out through the month. So, but if I must see only noble things, Bhadram karne bhisrunujama deva, Bhadram pasyema akshabhiryajatra. So, the ears and eyes, they are the windows of our body, mind, and health. So, if these two windows are really taken care, then you get the panorama of life. Something like Max Muller, who wrote in his sacred books of his series on Upanishads, he is editor, and he writes, "Oh, you Europeans, open the windows, doors of your chambers towards the east. Then you will see a big panorama of knowledge." And all that he went on talking about when he writes the introduction to the Upanishads or anything like that, secret books of his series. So, Europeans, he talks about, we are all Europeans, only foreigners. Anything that is foreign, that is not ours, India, we don't use it, it's foreign to us. In fact, Sanskrit, nobody talks about in India as a foreign language. But in other countries, consider Sanskrit as a foreign language. So these children have got to take one foreign language. So they take, if they are Indians and Hindus and so on, they will choose on Sanskrit. Even otherwise also they choose Sanskrit. My grandson came and said, I chosen Sanskrit as a foreign language. So I was just wondering, but whatever it is, whether it's a foreign or indigenous, but the language is great. The culture signified is great. The civilization that it holds is immortal. Therefore, Vedic civilization, Vedic culture, Vedic wisdom, etc., are all very great. That's why are they great? Because we are having plenitude of Arishta in us. That's why we say Arishta Nirasanamastu, Santatam Sri Rastu, Arishtam Cha. So, Arishta Nirasanam, we have to clean up ourselves. And that to clean up ourselves, we use the cosmetic soap or any such liquid which will make your outer body cleaner when you take bath or any otherwise. But what about the inner body? Inner members of the body, for that Paramatma is important. For example, in Mahanarayana Upanishad, in the Akumarshan Sukta, you will make a prayer to Indra, Agni, Varuna, and all this. Namo Gnaye Apsumate Nama Indraya Varunaya Nama Indraya Varunaya. So these are all the people, and also Varuni Devataha, Apo Devataha, Ayur Devataha, oh God. So they may not be visible to you or to us, but they are watching. And if you just remember and make a submission of prayer and Vinayam before them, they will definitely make you. That's why we always start our Sandhya Vandanam. Apavitra pavitro va sarva avastham gatopi va yaha smaret pundarikaksham saha bahihi abhyamtarataha suchihi. What a beautiful assurance being given by Paramatma or Rishis, through Rishis. See whether you are cleaner or non-cleaner. ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರಲಿ, ಕೈಕಾಲು ತೊಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆದರೂ ಸರ್ವಾನ, ಬಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್? ಅಪವಿತ್ರ ಪವಿತ್ರೋ ವಾ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲೀನ್, no matter. Sarva avastham gatopi va, you must have gone through different phases in your timetable, in your routine, in your dinachari. You must have just then taken your food. And people say, yeah, immediately after food, don't go for bath. But in Western places, ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ನಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಮಹಾನ್ ಭಾರತ್ ಕೆಲವರೆಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಎದ್ದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡಿದು 1 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಆನ್ ಹಾಲಿಡೇಸ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್, abominable. But what could be done? People are like that. That's why our Satabada Brahmana or Yajnavalkya Maharshi says, Chitram vai prajaha, ahonu prajaha, atra prajaha, sarvatranu prajaha. Anta, he just exclaims, the looking at the people, are different people. And depending upon the geographical conditions and climatic influences too. But no matter. Apavitra pavitrova avastha sarvastha arvavastham. In India, in temples, you see Purohits having only two, upper and lower garment, and keep doing puja in the temples. They have got only the Yajnopavitam and also upper one, and because they don't cover their upper portion of the body, abdomen, they will not cover with a stitched garment because dhoti is not having any stitches. And upper garments could have stitches, but stitch free cloth we have to wear. Vaso agne paridhasವ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಜುರ್ವೇದದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ವಾಸೋ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಪರಿಧಸ್ವ. ಓ ಅಗ್ನಿ, ಯು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ take hold of the vastrams I am giving, which have no stitching at all. So tailoring, no stitching, no all these things. It's a completely, continuously woven cloth. So sari, woven cloth, there is no, these days people have started using some stitches, fall antare, zigzag antare. But we don't have that kind of problem. Just sari as it is brought from the weaver and through the shop, you will just wear and you are muddy. So sari ge yaru object ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Similarly, dhoti and sella or upper garment, no, because no stitches there. So that's why with sarvavasthangato vivaha, what is the problem? Resolver. So smaret pundarikaksham. If you just remember pundarikaksha, that is important. Narayana has got tens and thousands of names. Thousand names of Vishnu, 1,000 names of Shiva, 1,000 names of Subramanya, 1,000 names of Ganesha, etc. So which means that in spite of all of that, all are taken as Pundarika Akshas. Pundarika is lotus. Aksha is the eye. So lotus eye means what? The lotus, though in the mire coming up, Genesis, though its leaf is upon the surface of the water, and any water drops falls on the leaf, looks like a pearl. So, and then the flower blossoms, so beautiful, so fragrant. And so Kamala Bandhavaha, Surya Bhagavan, directly connected to Surya Bhagavan. So Kamala, that's why Pushkaraksha is one of the important names, best names with which you can recognize the power of Indra, Vishnu, and the grace of Vishnu, the karuna, compassion or daya of Vishnu, that he will interfere, enter into you. See that bahihi abhyantarataha suchihi, you will become cleaner outside and inside. So inside cleaning, Paramatma. That's why we say Hiranyasringam Varunam Prapadye Tirtham Me Dehi Achitaha Yanmaya Dushkrutam Krutam. So whatever Dushkrutam done by me, whatever Arishta I have in my, that Arishta inside outside should disappear. Agni is Arishta Nivaraka. Mountains. For example, Arunachala mountain in South India, when you go to that place where the Ramana Maharshi Ashrama is there, Tiruvannamalai, and Mala, Tiruvannamalai. So the Arunachalam, the Dev Arunachaleswaraha. So Arunachaleswara and Kasi Visveswara are two sides of the coin. When you go to Kasi, That's Mahasmashanam. But when you come to Arunachalam, it is a Mahamokshastadam. So they both are there occupied by Lord Rudra or Shiva. So we do that. So I know one of the members of our Kendra, Venkatesh Murthy or so, a HAL engineer, retired. On every Purnima, he would go to Arunachaleswara, have darshan and puja to him and come back. So the previous night he takes a bus from Bengaluru to Arunachal, the Tiruvannamalai, and then goes and sees, and next night he will travel back. So 2 nights per month in bus, and remaining that day, a Purnima day, in Arunachaleswara. And what a punyam it is for us also. ಅವ್ರು ಆ ತರಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೂ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So this is how I wanted to talk about. So, and also not only the rivers, mountains, and whatever are there in the trees also. Even among the trees, we have got Deva Vrikshaha. Even among the trees also, there is a division that they are all Deva Vrikshaha and normal. So, for example, Aswatthana, there are five Deva Vrikshaha which will be very pradarshanam to them, or very touch of them. For example, Bilva tree. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ದರ್ಶನಂ ಬಿಲ್ವ ವೃಕ್ಷಸ್ಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶನಂ ಪಾಪನಾಶನಂ ಅಘೋರ ಪಾಪ ಸಂಹಾರಂ ಏಕಬಿಲ್ವಂ ಶಿವಾರ್ಪಣಂ. ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಪಾಪ ನಿವಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅರಿಷ್ಟ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೊಬ್ಬರು. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಟು Benaras by itself is not very sacred. But because presence of Vishweswara on one hand, on the other, so many punyatmas will visit Benaras. Sadhugalu, Rushigalu, Munigalu, Punyavantaru, etc. And Vrata Acharana Madavaru, Yajna Madavaru, sacrificers, and so many people visit Kasi. And so because of their punyam, the Ganga becomes Pavitrata. ಗಂಗೆ ಮಂಗಳತರಂಗೆ ಲೋಕಪಾವನಿ ಜಗದೇಕ ಮಾತಾ ಅಂತ ಆ ಗಂಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಗಂಗಾದೇವಿ ಈಸ್ ರಿಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಟಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್ ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್. ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮಣಿಕರ್ಣಿಕಾ ಘಾಟಲ್ಲಿ at 12 to 1 o'clock or so, if you take a dip, it is highly precious. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಡಿಪ್ ಇನ್ ಮಣಿಕರ್ಣಿಕಾ ಘಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಾಶಿ ಅಂತ ಪುರಾಣ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪುನೀತರಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅರಿಷ್ಟ ನಿವಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮೋಕ್ಷ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಟೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಇದೆ. ಸಿ ಆನ್ ಸಂಡೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಟಾಕ್, very educating talk by a Smartha Vidwan. Well, a flyer also, I put it in our Veda group. So he is talking about Mahanyasa, a yogic practice, yogic practice, and to get rid of sins, and it's a karma, it's a kriya. So Mahanyasada ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. And in Mahanyasa also we have got Indra, Agni and many other gods who are but only Rudra. Say Rudrohi Eshaha Sarvaha. When he is a Sarva Rudra, that means all gods are in him, he is in all gods. Aa ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ we have so much of scope, hope given by our Rishis through the grace of the Paramatmas, the Parabrahma, Ishvara, that we can get rid of it. Otherwise, everybody has got common question paper, 100 marks, 3 hours. But people vary to get the percentage of marks. That is unfortunate or fortunate. ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ 95% ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 99 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ 30% ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ is same. In fact, I know in our national college, some students used to come, sit simply not writing in the answer book anything, neat, even their name. When half an hour bell is over, they used to go away. I used to insist them, yeah, you write don't give the empty paper, write your name. ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆಸಿ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಈವನ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಟು ಝೀರೋ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಫೆಲೋ ಹೂ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಝೀರೋ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ನೀನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಹಾಫ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಾರ್, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಬೇಕು ಸಾರ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ some students are there who want to know what are the kind of questions that they are going to get, and so question paper ಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅರಿಷ್ಟ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬುಕ್ಕು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗೋತಾರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಆಲ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. And why am I telling that? But our rishis are simply, that's why we always say Nama Rishibhyo, Mantra Krudbhyo, Mantra Patibhyo, anta heli paradhum. So what they did, they have directed our pathways in our life journey and helping our life breath or pranam. Now we'll go to the text as such. We have seen the 6th paragraph of the Arishta Nivrutti mantra division in the Sarva Veda mantraha, which appears in the 214 number of page in Kannada script. Now we have to go to the 7th one, where we are just trying to make some more prayer that we'll be able to get rid of the sins further. Because ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ದೋಷಾನೇ. For example, if you are careless, the blade will take care of the skin. If you are careful, blade will protect the skin. So it all depends upon the blade or the knife that you are using. When you are using the knife and blade and all these sharp instruments, you have to be doubly careful. When you are cutting the vegetables or this or that and all that, if you are not careful, that is Arishta. And Arishta Nivarana andretheno, you should use your intelligence and be very alert when you are dealing with the mantra. Mantra is like a sword. Asina, mantra asina. As you say, mantra pushpam, mantra dhyanam, mantra uchcharana, and ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ದೇವತೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಮಂತ್ರಾಧೀನಂತು ದೇವತಂ. ದೇವಾಹ ಮಂತ್ರಾಧೀನಾಹ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣಾಹ ದೇವಾಧೀನಾಹ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಮಂತ್ರಾಧೀನ and devadhina, so ಎರಡು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. So that's why we always depend upon the purohits, the learned Brahmins who will come and educate us. Now I am reading this 7th one. Tadat padanna vichiketa vidwan yan mrutaha punarapyeti jivan Srivaidhyadbhuvanasya rathavruto जीवो गर्भो namrutas sajivat pratyasmai pipishate vishvani vidushe bhara arangamaya jagmave apaschad vane nare indurindram avagatu Indo rindropatu tasya ta indavindra pitasya madhumataha upahutasya upahuto bhakshayami. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತಂದರೆ ಉಪಹೂತಸ್ಯ ಉಪಹೂತಃ ಭಕ್ಷಯಾಮಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಸೊ ದೇವರಿಗೆ ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಪ್ರಸಾದವಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಯು ಈಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಗಾಡ್, ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಭೋಜನ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದರ ಬೆಲೆನೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚು. ಸೊ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಈಟಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಫುಡ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಭಕ್ಷಯಾಮಿ. ಉಪಹೂತಃ ಉಪಹೂತಸ್ಯ ಭಕ್ಷಯಾಮಿ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ವಿಚಿಕೇತ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ವದನ್ನ ವಿಚಿಕೇತ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ತತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯನ್ಮೃತಃ ಪುನರಪ್ಯೇತಿ ಜೀವಾನ್. See, even though you leave the body, but again you will come back into the body in a different form, in a different atmosphere. That's why Shankaracharya says in one of the stotras, we don't know how many mothers' milk we have suckled, and how many more mother's milk we are going to suckle also. Therefore, mataraha. That's why, but we don't, let us not think that the mother which we are seeing live is the only mother which we know. There are so many mothers for different purposes. For example, in Krishna Avatara, Vishnu has two mothers. One that Yashoda, and another is the Devaki. And Krishna has fulfilled the desire of the Yashoda and also Vasudeva, Devaki. Devaki is the gateway to enter into the avatar, of Krishna or Manava Avatara for Mahavishnu. So he's only, she only has delivered Krishna, Vishnu. The moment the boy was delivered, he was on the lap of Devaki with all the glory that of Vishnu, small baby, Sankhachakra Gadadharaha, Mahavishnu, Shishrupena. So in Devaki, ದೇವಕಿಗೆ ಶಿಶುರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ Mahavishnu came into the lap of her. Then Devaki asked, Aya, if you are like this, danger to us, danger to everybody. No, you be an ordinary baby. Immediately, he became ordinary baby, and so story goes out. It's Krishna Jananam. And Yashoda brought him up for more than 14 years and she did not, or Nanda did not send Krishna and Balarama to school at all. So after 14, 15 years, he told his parents, you never put me to school. I must also have some education. So I will go to Sandipini Ashramam before Sandipini Maharshi and want to become a graduate. So while going, he just gave up his flute, music and everything to the gopis there. And then both of them went to, Sandipini and all that. So the story tells us that uh, we have so many mothers, and therefore Jivan Punaha Pyeti Mrutaha. And again, Trivrut Yat Bhuvanasya Rathavrutu Jivaha Garbho Namrutasya Jivat. So Garbhaha Amrutasya Jivat. When the Jiva comes back into a small child to live a full term life breath, 100 years, Satamanam Bhavatu, Satam Vasantaha, Satasaradena, Satayusha Havisha. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸತಂ ಯಥೇಮಂ ಶರದೋ ನಯತಿ ಇಂದ್ರೋ ಸೊ ಶತಂ ಜೀವ ಶರದೋ ವರ್ಧಮಾನ ಶತಂ ಹೇಮಂತಾನ್ ಶತಮು ವಸಂತಾನ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು 100 ಪೂರ್ಣ ವಯಸ್ಸು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 80 ಇಯರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರನ್ನು ಹೊಟ್ಟೋದ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಆಯುಷ್ಕ, ನೋ ರಿಗ್ರೆಟ್ಸ್. ಆದರೆ ವೆನ್ ಹಿ ಒನ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಇನ್ 20, 30, 40 ಏಜಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಯಲಿ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಹು ಆರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್. But when you have completed your responsibility and gone off, so then it is not at all to be regretted. That's why Jivo Garbho Namrutasya Jivat Pratyasmai Pipishate Asmai Pipishate Pratipishate. And now we make the prayer Vidushe Vishwani Bhara. So anything you must have the knowledge and education. So because of that kind of knowledge, you really become blessed and careful to live that. And again, Arangamaya Jagmave and Apaschat Vane Nare Indurindram Avagat. So, it's all prayer that the human being that comes into this world must be allowed to live a full life, allowed to know the truth that when he is living, it is not at all a permanent living. It is only a gap, I mean, stop-gap arrangement to get to moksha. See, ಎಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸಿಪೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪಹ ಚಾತ್ ವನೆ ನರೇ and Indram, Induhu, Avagatu. So the Somarasa, Indu is Indra is the king of all gods. He is the very chieftain of the gods, and any and everything should be offered to Indra. Indra is Mahavishnu himself. Therefore, Indra is Mahavishnu or Ishvara is trying to manifest himself into various administrative forces, chief forces, chieftains, and see that the Loka Vyavahara, the Prapancha, is being manipulated and managed. So, Loka Vyavahara is important. And Loka Vyavahara, that's why we say in Bhalta Sahasranamam, I want all people to join on Saturday morning. Lokayatra Vidhaya, I'm going to start the names and explanation right from Srimata. So, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಲೋಕಯಾತ್ರಾ ವಿಧಾಯಿನ್ಯೈ ಐಂ ಹ್ರೀಂ ಶ್ರೀಂ ಲಲಿತಾಂಬಿಕಾಯೈ ನಮಃ ತ್ರೈಗುಣ್ಯೋದ್ಭವಮತ್ರ ಲೋಕಚರಿತಂ ನಾನಾರಸಂ ಸೇವತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಈ ಲೋಕಚರಿತ ಪೀಪಲ್ keep on behaving variously because of the three gunas. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಶ್ವಾನಿ ಭರ vidushe. The goal or objective is vidushe, for understanding. Tomorrow we are having, next week, last weekend we are having a talk on the understanding the Yaksha Prashnas. A dialogue between Dharmaraja and Dharma himself. That Yaksha was Yama and Dharmaraja the son. So in other words, it is a dialogue between son and father. And actually father has not left the son, though the son is born. That's why father and son are always very close, identical. That's why it is said, Bimbat Pratibimbo Jayate, Bimbat Pratibimbo Jayate ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾಮಕರಣ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮಗುಗೆ ಈ ಮಂತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಿಂಬಾತ್ ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬೋ ಜಾಯತೆ, ಬಿಂಬಾತ್ ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬೋ ಜಾಯತೆ. So the parents are not different from the children, and children are not different from their parents. That kind of linkage continues, but the blossoming is little different because each one has got their own punyam and papam amount, and accordingly they grow, they live. That's why ಇಂದ್ರೋ ಅಪಾತು. ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಸೋಮರಸಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಧಾನ್ಯತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೋಮಯಾಜಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೋಮಯಾಗ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ನೌ ಇನ್ ದ ಥರ್ಸ್ಡೇಸ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಟಾಕ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ತೈತ್ರಿಯ ಸಂಹಿತ mantras connected to the Agnishtoma Yajna, where you are offering to the Soma libations to various gods who are hungry, who are anxious, and who love it. That's why Indro, Apat, Apat and drink. I'm just giving whatever I understand. There are so many commentators and commentaries for all these things because no mantra is understood well with just dictionary meaning. That's what we call Vachyartha ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಆಲಂಕಾರಿಕರು. ವಾಚ್ಯಾರ್ಥ, ಪ್ರತಿಮಾನಾರ್ಥ, ಧ್ವನಿ, ವಕ್ರೋಕ್ತಿ ತುಂಬ ಇದೆ. And rasa, there are so many inner engineering or inner thoughts in the Kavya Prapancham. Rigveda is a Kavya, Atharveda is a Kavya, and Yajurveda is a Kavya, and Samveda is a Kavya. Therefore, ಈ ಕಾವ್ಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಕಾವ್ಯವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಕವಿ. ಕವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ವೈಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಡೀಪ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ಹಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಕವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವ್ಯುತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರತಿಭಾ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಕೆಲವು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪೊಯೆಟ್. ಅದರಿಂದ So don't take that I am giving the final meaning. I am just only trying to make it understandable to us, because looking at the normal meaning, so that we will be very careful as to realize the value of the mantras. Every mantra, every phoneme or akshara in a mantra is divine. ಸೊ ಅಕ್ಷಮಾಲ ವಿಭೂಷಿತಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ ಅಂತ ರುದ್ರನಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸಿ ಅಕ್ಷಸ್ರಕ್. ಸೊ ಅಕ್ಷಮಾಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕ್ಷಸ್ರಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಕ್ಷಮಾಲ, ಎ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಅ ಆ ಇ ಈ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವರ್ಣಮಾಲ, ಇನ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವರ್ಣ ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು ಈಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಅಯ್ಯವಾರು ಈಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವೆನೆವರ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಅಕ್ಷರಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಬೇಬಿ, ವಿ ಗೋ ಟು ಸೇಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಸ್. ಗುರುವಾಯೂರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅನ್ನಪ್ರಾಸನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಗುರುವಾಯೂರು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಜೀರ್ಣ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನಪ್ರಾಸನಕ್ಕೆ ಗುರುವಾಯೂರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಥವಾ ಅಕ್ಷರಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವರು ಬಾಸರ ಅಂತ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗುಡ್ ಎನಫ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರಾಸ್, ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರಾಸ್ ಟು ದ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಬೇಬಿ. Therefore, ಈ ಇಂದ್ರ ಅಪಾತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಸೊ ಅದು ತಸ್ಯ ತ ಇಂದವು ಇಂದ್ರಪೀತಸ್ಯ ಮಧುಮತಃ. ದೇವರಿಗೆ ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ದ್ರವ್ಯ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗತ್ತೆ, ದೋಷಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗ್ಬಿಡತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ಆಲ್ ದೋಷಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಟು ಯು ಆಫರ್ ಟು ದಿ ಗಾಡ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಯು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ತತ್ಸವಿತುಃ ವರೇಣ್ಯಂ ಭರ್ಗಃ ದೇವಸ್ಯ ಧೀಮಹಿ ಧಿಯಃ ಯಃ ನಃ ಪ್ರಚೋದಯಾತ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್. ಯಾಕೆ ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಫುಡ್ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್, ದಟ್ ಫುಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್. That's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in 17th chapter gives you the variety of the rasa and also the tongue having six buds of taste buds and so on. Everybody is very careful, and Krishna is directly cautions that unless you offer to me, the food cannot be really sanctified. Also, he says in Yajurveda, who is this Lord of the Annam? Agni. Therefore, you make a prayer to Agni, Annapate, Annasya no Dehi. Okay, you please give me back the food I am offering to you as a prasadam. And that food must be Anamiva. See, Annapate, Annasya no Dehi, Anamivasya Sushminaha. Ee Anamiva and Sushma is all in all about the food technology. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನು, ಫುಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನಮೀವಾ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಎನಿ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಎನಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಡೈಜೆಷನ್ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ತರಹ ಆಹಾರ ತೊಗೊತೀರೋ ಆ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಈ ಮುನಿಗಳು, ಋಷಿಗಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೈವ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಇರೋರು ಈರುಳ್ಳಿ ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ ಮುಟ್ಟೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ತಾಮಸಿಕ್ and rajasic. ಸಾತ್ವಿಕ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಬರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಫುಡ್. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಧುಮತಃ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ದಿ ಫುಡ್ ದಟ್ ಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ನಾನ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷಿಯಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ನಾನ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷಿಯಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್, the taste of the intelligence, the projection of the things coming out from intelligence. Therefore, annasya rasaha vai retaha. So, anna rasa rupavagi agbidutte. Andrenu, the essence of the food that you take will reflect the personality. Therefore, and the body is being framed because of the parents. So, the other day I was reading something or listening. The body of the child depends upon number of what are the parts that mother gives to the baby, and what are the parts or what are the things that a father gives for the baby. And ultimately, the intelligence is never passed on to the babies by the parents. They only give the physical content of their bodies to the baby, But intelligence is divine grace. That's exactly what we call our punyam or our karma and all those things. So if there are four brothers in a family, all four brothers can't become doctors or engineers or sannyasis or anything like that. They take their own different paths. But father may be religious, Vaidika and all that. Therefore, that intelligence part, the divine divinity part is purely personal. If you go to school, being sent by your parents, you will become graduate. If you simply while away your time underneath a tree and in a restaurant and on a road and in a amusement park, finished. You cannot become all that. In fact, I know one student who never came to who never came and sit in the class. But his father comes and asks me, sir, my son was every day coming to college, and why you giving him attendance? Why you said shortage of attendance? Letter comes to our. Where is your son? He is not. He is only telling because people ask him. ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಏನೋ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ. ದೇ ನೆವರ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಜನರಲಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ won't ask because they take it for granted that the boy when he goes to college will attend the class. No. ಸೊ ಆ ತರಹ ಆಗದೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಂದ್ರಪೀತಸ್ಯ ಇಂದುಹು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮಧುಮತಃ ತಸ್ಯ ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಫುಡ್ ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ದೇವರ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಯ್ಯ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ನಿಂದು ಇದು ನಾನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅರಿಷ್ಟ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಋಷಿಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. And actually I have not traced all these passages where they do occur. And then that could be done also. Actually I should ask some Vedic people, I mean students, to trace these paragraphs or lines to our Samhita or Brahmana or where it is occurring, the reference. And upahutasya upahuto bhakshayami ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಅರಿಷ್ಟ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. You have called the God, invited the God, divine, offered it to him symbolically or spiritually or majestically, then purified by that. That's why drishti is important. ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಆಹಾರ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಮಂಗಳಹಾರತಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಹಾರತಿ, ಆ ಅಗ್ನಿ, ಆ ಮಂಗಳಹಾರತಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ದೇವರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ದೇವರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ದೀಪ ದ್ವಾರ ಮಂಗಳಾರತಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಚ್ಕೊತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಡಿವೈನ್ ವಿಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಜಾಯಿನಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ವಿಷನ್. So human vision, human eye, human ear, human, everything human. But there are superhuman and which our human ears or eyes cannot hear or see. Those things are there in the universe. For example, the NASA people have tried to record with their own equipment the sounds that Surya Bhagavan does when he is going with such a great speed. In in 30 seconds, he will cover 126,000 miles in the sky ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, aeronautical miles. ಅಂದರೆ that is the kind of speed because he has got 7 horses. 7 horses, 1 wheel. And so on that chariot, eka chakram, eka dhuram, vatadra ajigatim vibho narishyati navyatate. So the horses never get tired, they never get groaning or moaning. They are all energetic all through the time that they run on. The horses are never harnessed by Surya Bhagavan. Bhanuhu ಸಕೃತ್ಯುಕ್ತ ತುರಂಗಯೇವ ರಾತ್ರಿಂದಿವಂ ಪ್ರಯಾತಿ. ಸೊ ಭಾನು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹಗಲು ಆ ಹಾರ್ಸಸ್ನ ಡಿಸೆಂಗೇಜ್ ಮಾಡದೆ ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೇ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಶೇಷಃ ಸದೈವ ಆಹಿತ ಭೂಮಿಭಾರ. ಆದಿಶೇಷ ಭೂಮಿಭಾರವನ್ನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ತನ್ನ ಹೆಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ there is that continuity, no stopping, no resting, nothing. Go on working because of the nature constantly on tow. We are living like this. So upahutasya upahutaha bhatshayami. So one is Shashti Vibhakti, another is the nominative. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೇನೆಂದರೆ ಈ ಜೀವ ಅನ್ನೋನು ಬದುಕಿರುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಲವೇ ಬದುಕುತ್ತಾನೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಎ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಮದರ್. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಮಾತರಹ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಪೋಹಿಷ್ಟ ಉಸತೀರಿವ ಮಾತರಹ ಅರಂಗಮಾಮವೋ ಯಸ್ಯ ಕ್ಷಯಾಯ ಜನ್ಮಥ. ನಮ್ಮ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ಪಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಪೋಹಿಷ್ಠಾಮಯೋ ಭವ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಂತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಹೌ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಬಲ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ couched in this particular paragraph, and thereby ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಉಪಹೂತಸ್ಯೋಪಹೂತೋ ಭಕ್ಷಯಾಮಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರಿಷ್ಟ ನಿವಾರಣ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾಪ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾಪ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಪುಣ್ಯ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಪುಣ್ಯ ಕರಗೋಗಿದೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಮೀಟರ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗು ನಮಗೆ ಹಾಕೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಋಷಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮೀಟರ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್, ಪುಣ್ಯ ಪಾಪ ಮೀಟರ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಯಮಲೋಕ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿಷ್ಣುಲೋಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಯಮಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಷ್ಣುಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಲೋಕ ದಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟೌಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಅಯ್ಯ ನೋಡು ಮಹಾನುಭಾವ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪುಣ್ಯಂ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಪಂ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಂತಾರಲ್ವ, ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಡೂ ಅಂತ ಯಮ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಾರೋಹಣ ಪರ್ವ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮಹಾಭಾರತ. ದೆನ್ ಧರ್ಮರಾಜ ವೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಯಮ and he found his brothers in the Narakaloka suffering. And when he went to that Swargaloka, he found Duryodhanadaya enjoying the comforts thereon. So that Dharmaraja was just perplexed. And he went to his father and asked, what is this? My brothers have done so much punyam in the Bhulokam as they are living, and these fellows were adharmic fellows of Duryodhanadaya. They did lot of harm, lot of atrocities, avinayam, how they are in Swargam. And then Dharmaraja tells him, Ayya Prabhu, see, no doubt, both of them came to me. I gave them, I showed them the balance sheet. And Duryodhana, leader, said, Sir, Mahanubhava, we have been enjoying in Bhulokam. Comforts ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಲಕ್ಸುರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So whatever little punyam is there, let us exhaust it and come back to Narakam. And the same was the choice to Pandavas, that Arjuna, Karna, the Bhima, etc. They said, we suffered a lot. We had Vanavasam. We had so much of dangers when we lived upon. So we went to Vanavasam. We ate leaves. Anati Pandavulu Akulalamalu Mesi Adavipala Hirayya. There is a padyam, slogan, Anati Pandavulu Akulalamuలు వేసి అడవిపాలైపోయిరయ్యా ಅಂತ ಒಂದು. ಸೊ ಆ ಪಾಂಡವರು ಪಾಪ ಅರಣ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಚನ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಕುಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನಿದೆ ಪಾಪ ಒಂದು ಅಕ್ಷಯ ಪಾತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ, ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರು ಋಷಿಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಕ್ಷಯ ಪಾತ್ರ. ಆ ಅಕ್ಷಯ ಪಾತ್ರದಿಂದಲೇ problem, they were maintaining themselves in the forest for all years. Anyway, I don't know, I have not read Mahabharata much. So they went to forest, and so ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ದಟ್ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಔಟ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ದಿ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ಅಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇರ್. ಈವನ್ ವೆನ್ ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು ದುರ್ಗಾ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ ಫೈಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ Mahishasura, she gave option. Whenever you want to get rid of your life, tell me, I'll take it out. I don't force you to. So idaraha, there is always that options given to us. And I think we'll go to next one. I'm just reading. Apa va etasmat Sri Rashtam Kramati Yo Swamedhe Nayajate Brahmanau Veena Gathinau Gayataha Sriyava Etadrupam Yadveena Sriyamevasmin Antah Dattah Antah Dattah Yada Khalu Vai Purusha Sriyamasnute Vinasmai Vajyate. This is a special paragraph. Probably it is found in the Shatapada Brahmanam of Shukla Yajurveda. Shukla Yajurveda has got only one Brahmana. Krishna Yajurveda has got only one Brahmana. Taittiriya Samhita has got one Brahmana, Taittiriya Brahmana. And each reason. So, illi, the Brahmanas are same only, but there will be variants. For example, what is available is Kanva Brahmana and we have got Madhyandina Brahmana. So, these are the two Brahmanas and containing 100 chapters. And there is a difference. When I was doing my research on Shukla Veda, I was also trying to refer to Sattva Brahmana for the purpose of knowing the procedure for performing the 12 major sacrifices whose formulas have been given in the Samhitas. And in, of course, Taittiriya Brahmana is also trying to explain. Brahmanas are commentators, the beginning of the commentators and the beginnings of the or continuation of the use of Brahmana, use of prose. So when you are reading these Arishta mantras, Arishta Nivrutti mantras, I'm sorry, you are introduced to the Veda Samhita style, the Brahmana style, the Upanishadic style, and that way the Veda language you are able to be familiar and you are able to be pronounce all those Vedic sounds. That's why it is a credit. Vedaksharani yani santi tani uccharitani papaharani bhavanti. That's why ಯಾವ ವೇದಾಕ್ಷರಗಳನ್ನು ದಿನ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟೋ ಇಷ್ಟೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ we are trying to get rid of the doshas, sins, infections and other things in us. We are becoming pavitras. That's why we make a prayer to Venkatramana Swami Balaji. Charanam pavitram vitatam puranam yena puta hatarati duskrutani yena putastarati duskrutani. So, ಈ ಚರಣಂ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ ಆ ಪವಿತ್ರವಾಗಿರುವ ದೇವರ ಪಾದಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಪಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಪಾಪದಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ. There are private sins, public sins, and also sin against others. So in Mahanarayana Upanishad, we have got a small enumeration of the arishtas that we are trying to accrue. So that in Isavas, in the Mahanarayana Upanishad, we have got the sin trying to get rid of it. So what are this number of sins that we are, that Papa Nivaraka Mantraha? This is just like Arishta Nivaraka Mantraha. So in page number 66, you can go through separately. I have already done Mahanarayana Upanishad for 2 or 3 years. I don't remember every day, every weekly one class. And all that is on record. And we should be 100 times, multiple times thankful for Seshachalaya, who has taken the lead to make this available for many people for times, for many times, for any time it is. So, Deva, see, we are doing aparadha, papa, against Deva, Manushya, then Pitru, Atma, Anyakruta, Asmatkruta, and Vacha, Arishtam, and and also while sleeping, while wakeful, while dreaming, and while knowing, while not knowing. For all that, what we want is avayajanamasi. Avayajana ಅಂದರೆ expiation. First, ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಯಶ್ಚಿತ್ತ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಈವನ್ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟೇಕನ್ as a ಪ್ರಾಯಶ್ಚಿತ್ತ ಕರ್ಮ. And it's a yogic activity. ಸೊ ಆ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸಪೂರ್ವಕ ರುದ್ರಾಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪುಣ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ವ್ಯಾಧಿನಾಶನಾರ್ಥಿ, ಜೀವಿತಾರ್ಥಿ, ಪುತ್ರಾರ್ಥಿ, ಮೋಕ್ಷಾರ್ಥಿ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಇಂಥ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥಿನ್ಸೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಬೆಗ್ಗರ್ಸ್, ರಾದರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸೀಕರ್ಸ್. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಶ್ವಮೇಧ ಯಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು. ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್, ಸಮ್ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ that have been grabbed or put here are text from the Ashwamedha Brahmana, Ashwamedha Yajna, because Ashwamedha Yajna is taken to be the royal consecration, horse sacrifice ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. In fact, a German scholar has written a monograph on the horse sacrifice. So, of course, he wrote in German language, but that has, I think, been translated by Easterman, I think, somebody. He has written in German a monograph on the horse sacrifice only. When I was doing my work on this Ashwamedha, in Pune, I got a copy of that in German language, but I was able to make out to some extent. And afterwards, I found an English translation also. I don't remember now. But that would tell you that Ashwamedha Yajna is able to remove all sorts of doshas or aristas committed by us and make you pure. And that's why Rama had to perform Ashwamedha Yaga to get rid of the dosha that he accrued by killing Ravana, a Brahmin. So ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಹತ್ಯಾಂ ವಾ ಏತೆ ಘ್ನಂತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಹತ್ಯಾ ದೋಷವನ್ನು ಆರ್ ಭ್ರೂಣಹತ್ಯಾ ದೋಷವನ್ನು ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ದೋಷಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಔಟ್ವಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದಿಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಚುವಲ್ಸ್. ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಟು ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಈ ಮಹಾಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಮಹಾಸಂಕಲ್ಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೇನು ದೋಷಗಳಿದೆ, ಎಂಥ ದೋಷಗಳ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Probably you must have attended either in Facebook or in YouTube or live in temples Sitaram Kalyanam on Ramanavami Day. Most of the places they have celebrated the Kalyanam, Sitaram Kalyanam. And even Sagaraja also has written the Kalyanam, a beautiful song, Rama Kalyanam. And Sita Kalyanam, a beautiful Kirtana does. So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಅಶ್ವಮೇಧ ಯಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ, in order to get rid of the sin and also get wealth, ಅಂದರೆ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ವೀಣಾಗಾಥಿನಃ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. 100 ವೀಣಾಸ್ or Veenas are kept. They are played simultaneously as a part of Vinoda in the Ashwamedha Yaga. So, Brahmanau Veena Gathinau Gayataha. ಆ ತರಹ ವೀಣಾ ಗಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಆರ್ ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅವರು ವೀಣಾ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ he is the guru of my daughter Lalita, and he is very famous, a wonderful teacher. ಸೊ ಆರ್ ಕೆ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವುಗಳು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಆ ವೀಣಾ ಗಾನದಿಂದ, ವೀಣಾ ವಾದನದಿಂದ, ವೀಣಾವಾದನ ತತ್ವಜ್ಞ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಸರ್ವಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ತತ್ವವಿಧ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರು ಗುಡ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಷಿಯನ್, ವಾಗ್ಗೇಯಕಾರ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ವೀಣಾ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ವೆರಿ ಎಂಬಾಡಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಎ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಲ್ತ್. ಸೊ ಏತದ್ ರೂಪ ಶ್ರಿಯಾ ವಾ ಏತದ್ ರೂಪಂ ವೀಣಾ ಯದ್ ವೀಣಾ. ಸೊ ವೀಣಾ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ very manifestation of the totality of the wealth. ಅಂದ್ರೇನು ಶ್ರೀ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು ಆರೋಗ್ಯವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯ, ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ, ಭೋಗ್ಯ, ಭಾಗ್ಯ, ಆನಂದ, ಉತ್ಸಾಹ, ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ, ವರ್ಧಮಾನತ್ವಂ is all taken to be under the heading Sri. That's why we have got Sri Suktam. And ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಶ್ರಿಯಂ ದೇಹಿ, ಧಿಯಂ ದೇಹಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮಗೆ ಸಂಪದಗಳು ಬೇಕು, ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರೋಗ್ಯನೂ ಬೇಕು, ಎಕ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫನ್ನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯತ್ ವೀಣಾ ಶ್ರಿಯಾರೂಪಂ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇದು ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ 100 ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣಾಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು, ಆ ವೇದಿಕ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವೀಣಾ ಅಧ್ವರ್ಯೂಸ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ದಿ ಅಶ್ವಮೇಧ ಯಾಗ, they would be also good experts in the musicology. Beautiful example is Hanuman. He's also a Ranavidwan, Ranapandita, and Man Suyodha, at the same time Sangeetagnaha, and same time he's a Veenagnaha. So ಆ ತರಹ multifaceted personality, multidisciplinary expertise ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಾಲಹರಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಟ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಶೋನ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಪರಾಧಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅರಿಷ್ಟಾಸ್ gripping us. We have to get rid of all of them. So it's very beautiful. I stop here. Om Swasti. Ramakrishna, can you say Sahanavatu or anybody? Nandan, if you are
सहना
there.
भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।
Sri Veda Purusha
श्री वेद पुरुष
Ashirvadam.
आशीर्वादोस्तु। ओम तत्सत्।
Sarvam Sri
मातृचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु।
Matrucharanaravindarpanamastu.
ओम तत्सत्।
So even now we are slowly entering into the palace of Yajurveda, and the explanatory part of the Yajurveda section where the yagnas have been well explained. So yagnadindale namಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So that's what yogo gnanam tatha sankhyam so yagna bhrutu yagna krutu everything is Paramatma. We'll get on to that knowledge. Any questions? Anybody? Ramakrishna, very happy you have joined, and you must become little changed in your understanding, and also
Yeah.
all.
After a long time, Guruji, I joined. So today's class was also appealing for me, and I listened, and a lot of learning today in the class.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಎಷ್ಟುದು ಆರ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರರು, ದಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂಮ್ ಯು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ಹಿಸ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ 20 ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಪಾಪ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನೈಸ್. ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಬಿ ಇಂಟರ್ಮಿಟೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಬೈ ಯು ಆರ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಗುರು.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ವಾ? ಗುಡ್, ಗಾಡ್ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು. ಸೊ